there and welcome back to my channel. So today I am actually making this video because I have not made a video about my background and who I am. Okay, so for those of you who are following me on my Etsy shop or my website, I kind of give a little bit of a background there about me, how I began my spiritual journey, where it began from. But I've never, as far as I can remember, I don't think, and I've made quite a few videos on my channel now. So I am kind of like, have I made a little video about my journey? Have I actually came on here and talked about my journey to you guys? I'm not exactly certain. So today I thought, what a perfect day to do that. Okay, so a little bit of background about me and how I started my spiritual journey down the witchcraft aisle, down the spiral of darkness, as you want to call it. This comes from my family, so this is not new to me. This is not like something that I said, okay, today I want to be a witch. Okay, that didn't happen for me. My mom practiced. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was a kid, my mom and I, we were very Baptist. Okay, we went to church, hellfire, brimstone, Sunday, Wednesday type of shit church, right? So I'm going to be very clear. We did that. However, my mom also was a practicing witch, okay? And she would tell me stories about my great-grandmother. And my great-grandmother, which we didn't talk about, but there were things that didn't add up, or just things that were miraculous that you would be like, how did that happen? You know, nicest woman, give you the shirt off her back, but cross her, trust me, she, Irish woman all the way, complete Irish. Okay, so my great-grandmother was practicing, but nobody ever said anything. My mom was practicing, and also my mother was very, very psychic. So my mom, she developed her actual psychic abilities when she went through a car windshield when she was like 18 years old. After that, and she legitimately died right there on the street there. You know, we're talking back in the 50s when in Ohio, when cops were on the corner. I mean, there was just tradition. There was a cop on every corner. And when the car accident happened and my mother went through the windshield and came back and ended up in the back seat, the cop, she had no pulse, pronounced her basically dead without pronouncing her dead on scene. And after that, her psychic abilities were miraculous. I mean, she already had kind of little things, but after that, she could hold any object in her hand. She could tell you everything. She wouldn't even have to, like, there was no tarot cards that my mother needed. All my mom needed was your name. My mom was very much able to see what somebody was doing without actually being there 3,000 miles away. And my mom could read you like a book. There was nothing that you could get past my mom. Trust me. So for years, growing up, my mom loved doing seances, and we always had seances. I remember countless times being in the cemetery with my mom as a kid, and we were like putting tape recorders on, you know, different various graves and stuff like that. And so I remember seances where you'd hear knocking on the walls while we're doing the seance, or snorting, or, you know, normally this would like scare the crap out of you. And when I was a kid, I remember it scared the crap out of me, but you started getting used to it. And it was like the norm. So even though we went to church, okay, we left the church when the pastor was cheating on his wife. My mom said, screw this, we're not going back to church. And we never went back to church again. And good, because my mom, she wasn't into, like myself, I'm not into organized religion. I don't believe that you need to worship anything in some sort of a house to go do it. You could worship whatever you choose wherever you choose, and you don't need to be mandated into a particular sanctioned place to go do it and then pay money to do it. I mean, it's ridiculous. So my mother was very much against that, and as I am, and so not practicing or being a Baptist anymore was not a big deal. Like, it was just the norm. Like, there's no love lost there, trust me. But all along, my mom taught me many, many things, because my mom was a practicing witch. And again, it comes from her great-grandmother. And I'm certainly sure if I did history, if I found somebody that I could do all the history, you would probably go back generational in bloodline. So it's not like, okay, one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to open a book and I'm going to become a witch. That was not me. So where I am today is not where I was 20, 30 years ago. So in my 20s, I, have the Wicca books and learned a lot. Like, I have the highest respect for that. And just practicing, and, it was baby steps for me. Even though my mom, even when I was a teenager, we were conjuring demons to go after my friends. So just to fuck with them. And then my friend would actually say, "Did you send something to me last night? Because this is what happened." In reality, it's, yeah, we did. My mom and I did. And we physically heard it. Like, we were like wondering what my friend was doing, and we heard the spirit answer. Like, both of us heard the same thing. So I've been conjuring since I was a teenager, and not really knowing that I was actually conjuring or even full-on fledged working in witchcraft as a teenager. So of course in the 20s I start with a Wicca book. So I guess in hindsight I backtracked instead of moving forward from a teenager, but it is what it is, and that's how it happened. So and I think I'm jiggling the camera, so let me move this just a little hair. Every time I touch the table, I'm shaking you. I don't want you to think there's an earthquake happening. So anyways, so in my 20s, I started dabbling into, I guess, Wicca, and learned that system, and, learned various techniques, but, me, ceremonial type magic, casting, calling the quarters, the circles, and all that stuff, that was really not my cup of tea. It's just too much I just want to get to the point. That's the kind of practitioner that I am. So I ended up, working with Pan, Diana, and, successfully working and feeling comfortable with that. But then suddenly, when problems arrive in your life, you want more, you need more. So I started branching out, and I got into Santeria, and I was working with Santeros, and then I ended up leaving them and went to another one, and leaving them and went to another one. You know how it is when you're trying to find the one that's like legit and not trying to scam you or whatever. But then I wanted more, so I got into Palo. So I found a Palero and started working with one, and almost got cut in Palo. But again, it's not my culture. It's not my background. We had to find translators to translate because nobody spoke English. In beautiful religion, Santeria, Palo, utmost respect for all that. And mind you, I worked with my Alegua, I worked with my, I had my Aliques, I have them still. Do I work with them at this point? No. I stopped working with that, and it's just because, you have to find honest people, good people that you can trust, because these are people that are working with you. I just heard like 2 knocks. I'm not sure where that came from. I don't know, that was in my front door. That was so creepy. These are people that that you're entrusting. So, it was very difficult, and like I said, the language barrier was difficult, and at the end of the day, I thought, you know what, this is not my culture, this is not me. Even though I love the religion, I worked in it for years, practice heavily, I ended up not getting cut, and I never got crowned. I could have. I know who crowns me. Came very close, but I backed out. I backed out because it's not my culture, and it's not my home. It's not my calling. So here I come. I'm coming back. If I start working with Panda Diana again, it just didn't feel right at that stage. I just felt absent. I felt like it wasn't that's not my calling. So, you know, as I've done before, I work my own energy into my magic. So if this is, you know, a candle, instead of calling upon a deity to assist you with your practice, I focus my own energy and I make it manifest whatever I desire. So yeah, of course, that's what I was doing. Love it. Absolutely love it. Using your own energy. Very easy. You're not calling upon any other spirit to manifest anything. It's absolutely wonderful, actually. Going back to getting into working with Santa Muerte, I was practicing my own magic, my own energy, like putting into whatever I desire. Everything's working, everything's manifesting. For years, was doing that for years. One day, Santa Muerte came to me in my dream. So I had a dream with her, and she came to me actually in white the first time, and she gave me a message. It was like she came out of the water, out of the ocean, on the beach. And I remember I picked up the statue, and I was like, what is she trying to say? And three things came to me that she said. And so when I went back and I heard about her. Okay, so my friend had told me about her. She used to work with her, and that was like a year before. So it wasn't like something subconsciously somebody told me, and then, you know, you have a dream about it. It wasn't like that. She legit came to me, and then I was already debating on maybe getting a statue of her. I know I saw a white one of her at the Psychic Eye, and I went back there after she legitimately came to me in my dream, and then I started hearing her in the room. I could hear her speaking. So I went to go get her statue, and it wasn't there, but they had the money statue. So I was like, okay, this is the closest thing to white, so I'll just get that. Well, I started working with that, and there was like nothing there. But in the meantime, I started dreaming of her again, but in black. Okay, so I'm like, I feel more comfortable with having her, but don't ask me why. The darker the magic, the more comfortable I am. so I got her in the black one. I worked with her for about 3 months. Nothing manifested. Nothing happened. But when I worked with her, I just gave her offerings every day. I wasn't like bombarding her with like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this. Because I know you can't approach her like that. You have to approach her with showing her that you really want to build a relationship with her. She knows your intention. So I tried to build that relationship because she was coming to me. I was like, okay, then I want to build this relationship with you. Took about 3 months, and then everything just suddenly opened. It just suddenly opened. And that was in 2015. And I've been working heavily, still work with her since, right? I've got well over probably 18 statues of her throughout my house. Predominantly here in my altar room. I have a ton of statues of her, especially on my working altars. And then I started my Etsy shop in 2018. I want to say, well, I opened it in 2017. It went live in like 2018. And I started putting product on, like oils and powders, and it wasn't anything. And you know, like people weren't coming to my shop, and you know, it was no big deal, whatever. I didn't really care. If people find me, they find me, and I'm still like that today. I'm not like hungry for like, I've got to go out and steal people's clients, or I've got to go out and be the best. You know, that is not me. If you find me, it's for a reason, and if you don't, then you don't. I really don't care. So I had my Etsy shop going, and it started picking up in the end of 18, 19. It started getting really, really, really super busy. And then I started thinking, because I was making products for people to do their own. So if people ordered a jar, like a honey jar or something, or love jar, or destruction puppet. I would make it with the intention that I would ship it and you need to finish it. And that's how it was. But then I started thinking, what if things break? Sometimes, like the 7-day candles, they break, even though how good you pack them. Like, what if I was doing this my own? Can I do this for people? I have been practicing magic for years, right? So I went from in my teenage year, growing up, being in it, being around my mom teaching me, conjuring demons in my teenage years, to Wicca, to Santeria, to Palo, to back to just witchcraft, black magic, using my own energy. Trying back in the early 2000s, late 90s, I was working the Goetia and realizing how complicated that was, and it just wasn't manifesting at that time. It wasn't right timing. Spirit knows when you're ready, and Spirit knows when you're not. To now working with Santa Muerte, Santissima, and then wondering, can I take on clients? Should I take on clients? I don't know. And the thing is, it's like, I didn't know if I wanted to, because, you can get people that are like impatient, very antsy, very much like, crazy. Some people, they don't understand how magic works. I've been doing magic all my life, basically, growing up with it. So I know the concept of magic, and I know how timing is not the same in spirit world as it is in real world. So I was debating, but I put it up on Etsy the end of 2019. I want to say November 2019. I put it up and it exploded in a good way. Like, clients just came to me. Like, I was like, what? And I was loving it because I love helping people. I generally love helping people. Like, from the bottom of my deepest soul, I love watching manifestation happen, not just for myself, but for others. So I was like, this is great. Like, I love this. So I got my website going in beginning of 2018, because I know that Etsy, you're not supposed to sell spells on Etsy, even though today everybody and their brother sells spells for anything you need for like $12.58. It wasn't like that in 2019 or 18. It was a little bit more like the real people were there, and now it's kind of the bogus shit is there. I'm sorry to say, but it's a lot left to be desired, let me just say. And very much scam central and dog eat dog. Like, people try to like shut your shop down, but like they're copying you. Oh, really? Okay. I see people copying my stuff all the time, almost verbatim. If I put something up, somebody else has got to put it up. But you know what? It's okay, because everybody's doing it, and you're doing your magic your way, and I'm doing my magic my way, and your magic is not my magic. So, to each its own. That's fine. Go with God. Go be it. So, everything was booming in 2019. I got my website going. And then I kind of pulled some things off of Etsy, and then I kind of put them back up, like the cheaper stuff, but the more expensive was on my website. And I kind of ran with that for a little bit. And then 2020 came, same thing was going on. And then 2021 happened. And all of a sudden, I started getting the calling, like to work with Lucifer and Belial and the demonics, and I started like being pulled into that. Like, I would see things and I'd be like I'm watching it, but I'm like, I don't want, no, it's too much, it's too scary for me. Like, oh God, I don't know if I could go there, but I can't stop looking. It's like the temptation was like, oh my God, but I can't stop. Like, I keep getting drawn in, and I'm like, oh my God, I could never do that, but I can't stop looking. And then all of a sudden, I just literally woke up and was like, I'm doing this. I knew in my mind it was okay. to work with, because I think a lot of big fear was because I work with Santa Muerte, and as anybody knows, like when you're working with Santissima, that sometimes she doesn't like you working with other spirits. And I think that applies when you start putting other spirits on her altar, which I would never do, and I would never disrespect that. That is like a big no-no. I don't do that with my spirits, any type of spirit. I don't mix that energy. So I was a little bit taken back, like I don't know if I legitly could, but then I started seeing people, like, you know, interviews. There was an interview with E.A. Quetting and Nate Bales, and wonderful man, Nate, and his wife Scarlett. I haven't spoken to Scarlett, but I've spoken to Nate, and very like on point and smart, and in like, if you ever want to learn anything about demonic energy, yeah, definitely check out the Four Thrones. Definitely check out his website, Nate Bales. I think it's natebales.com. The Four Thrones. If I'm wrong, I will put the link down below. So if I'm making a mistake in this video, yes, I'm sorry, but the link is down below. You can check out. But very smart. But on one of the videos with EA and Nate, there was a Santa Muerte in the background. And I was like, how is that possible? You work with the demonics, but you're working with Santa Muerte. How is that possible? How is that possible? So I ended up reaching out to Nate, and and I asked him, like how? Like, can you? Like, you know, because I'm being like so drawn into working with the demonics right now that I don't know if it's okay with her, you know, and apparently it is. It is, because they're kind of death, you know, she is, Santissima Santa Muerte is death herself, okay? So you're dealing with the death magic already. So you're, you know, when you're dealing with the demonics, I know that the Black Santa Muerte La Negra, she is, reigns over all the demons from below. I've read that on somebody's website it was nothing but Santa Muerte, and they were talking about the different aspects of her, because they all house different things, like the white, the red, the black, and then of course you got the new age with the different colors. I don't go there. I stick traditional. I'm very traditional with anything. But anyways, I ended up realizing that you can mix the magic. You can have them both. You can work with them. I just don't put my demonics on her altar. They have their own space or whatever. So for the past year, I've been heavily, when I say heavily, I mean heavily, immersing myself into the black flame, into the inferno power, into the darkness. So yeah, so it was through Nate that I realized that you can mix it. Before that, and always and still, I have highest respect for Savannah at Black Witch Coven. Watched her for years, and of course I already knew, you know, she worked with Lucifer and all that. But you know, I love watching Savannah, and I loved watching EA, and just the different people that, even J.S. Garrett, I loved how simplified he did the rituals, and I'm like, this is possible. And Behemoth, beautiful, I mean, elaborate, and he was like the one, I'm gonna be honest, I watch his videos, Behemoth X. Get a chance, check him out. I'm not like shouting out people. Nobody knows I'm shouting anybody out, and I'm not shouting anybody out, but I am shouting people out. But Behemoth X, gorgeous altar, gorgeous. Like, when I watched his videos, that's where I was like, I don't know if I could do that, but I can't stop looking. I just couldn't stop looking. I'm just like, I would love to have an altar room like how gorgeous that is. And I don't think it's so much the aesthetics of it, but just the immensity that you could just feel coming through the screen of the power. Just that, the pure essence, that pure raw power. And I'm like, holy mother of God, you're just so attracted to it. You can't let that go. And then that's how I got soaked in. And here I am. yeah, my journey. So now I work with Santa Muerte, and I work with the demonic, so you want to call them. I'm working heavily with Belial, heavily with Lucifer, and Pazuzu. I have stories with him, but one day maybe I shall share here, but maybe not. Yeah, but very much feel connected, have felt spirit. I don't want to say see spirit, but I definitely feel their presence and feel their touch. Came very easy, and maybe because I have been practicing all my life. I'm not opening up a textbook and I wanna see a demon. This is not me. I don't care if I see it. I already know that they're there because you're calling them, whether you feel it or not. In time, you're going to be able to, but if I never did, it would be okay with me because I already know they're there. I have trust in that. And that's something in magic you have to have. So that's where I am. That's where, and that's how I became me. So now I still have my Etsy shop and I have my website. But I do most, if not all of my castings or, any consultations. I mean, I still have that on my Etsy if people have problems going through my website, but my castings and any of my rituals or anything that I do for people, that you have to purchase that through my website, which is from thecauldronwitch.com. And then of course I have my Etsy shop, which is from the Cauldron Witch. So you can find me on Etsy, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on my website, but I do now. I've kind of changed it where
as of 2022.
Etsy is just for the store like it used to be in 2019 and 18, where you buy your products to do your own spells. And if you want me to cast your work, you got to go through my website. So that's where I am today with that. But that's a little bit of backstory about my history. Now there's a lot in between. Obviously, there's in between stories. There's maybe other things that I did that, I have not mentioned here. Just because I don't want to make this video super long, and, some things we don't share with people. But if you're reading anything on my Etsy or my website, you're already kind of reading exactly what I'm telling you right now, except you're getting it live, so to speak, as I'm speaking today, and kind of my history and my backstory of my spiritual journey and where I came and where I am today. And where will I be in a year? I have no idea. I'm hoping that it's in the same current, but bigger and better. Just bigger, more enthralled in that current. You don't know. You don't know what path will spirit lead you down. Where will I be? I have no idea. Only spirit knows. So I just want to make this a quick little video, guys, just to give you a little bit of a backstory on me, who I am, my little spiritual journey. I was never like, okay, I'm going to be a witch today. It was already in my blood. Yeah, I didn't have to renounce the church. The church we got rid of years ago. No love lost there. But I absolutely love magic. I eat, breathe, drink, shit, everything magic in my life. It is my life. Doing work for people is my life. I love manifesting. I love helping people. And yeah, I couldn't be more happier than doing what I'm doing right now. Like, this is my life. If I was not doing spells for other people and helping other people, I still would be living the occult life every day. So that will never stop. Whether I stop one day and no longer take on clients, I still will be practicing magic till the day I'm no longer here, because this is my life. I love working with spirit. I love my spirits. And need I say more? Alrighty, guys. Many, many, many blessings to each and every one of you. Like this video, share this video, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Alrighty. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I send many blessings to each and every one of you, especially those who are subscribed. Alrighty, you get my extra oomph, my extra good juju. Alrighty, take care, and until the next time.